Yeah. All right. Welcome back to the Better Days Rain podcast. Part of our mission here at Better Days Rain is to provide a space for people to come in, tell their story. Um, Addiction takes a big piece of our life, a really big piece of our life. And so when people make it out of that and branch off into being a new person, I think that's just powerful, right? When we put down the old me and create a new me, right? So today I have a good friend of mine, longtime friend, Diane Sheppard in the building. Diane, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fabulous.
Good.
I want to provide a space for you today for you to tell your story, right? You talk about what you want to. You don't have to talk about what you don't want to, Um, but there is power in your story, right? And it's something that someone out there will need to hear, right? And it could change somebody's life. It could plant a seed in somebody's life, and that's one of the things I love about doing what I do, right? Is because maybe somebody's not ready to get sober yet. And they're still in that life, and they just need to know that it's doable, right? That we can actually flip the script on it and make it out and do positive things in the world, So again, I'm gonna turn this over to you, and I'm gonna let you kind of let us know a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, um, thank you for having me here today. This is truly an honor to be able to be sitting here today, just reflecting and knowing where I came from, where I started, and where I am now. And just the overwhelming thankfulness I have today in my life for all that I have. You know, I feel like I started really young, just being overwhelmed and afraid of everything and angry. Um, at the age of 6 years old, I can remember just being sad, mad, afraid, just coming from a childhood and home life of abuse and obesity and just, you know, just all the things I think that other people in my situation might have gone through. We were poor, and my family came from a long line of abuse and things like that. And so I thought that was the normal thing to do. Just never hearing "I love you," never hearing "Hey, you did a good job," never hearing "That's okay. Tomorrow will be a better day." I didn't know what any of that was about. My dad worked away from home. He never used drugs or alcohol, but he was just very hard and rigid. My mother was very depressed, and when she wasn't at work, she was laying in bed and, just very poor hygiene. We never knew about hygiene or anything. We had dirty clothes to choose from. We picked them up off the floor and dressed ourselves for school and got on the school bus the best way we knew how. I didn't own a toothbrush. I ate myself to sleep every night. She beat us. Things were bad. Told me she hated me. It was just a bad.
Bad family life.
Yeah.
Bad family life.
So I grew up from there. Ran away from home at 12. Um, just raised myself on the street from there. Prostitution,
I was about
drug
to say, like
use.
at 12 years old, where do you go?
Well, hitchhiked from Canyon to Amarillo, and by midnight I had a crack habit and a pimp, turning tricks. That's just
It
the
was
gist.
just how it happened.
Yeah. So lived my life that way. Had 3 children by tricks I didn't know. Married young. Married a pedophile. My life was just idea of love was distorted. Idea of self worth was distorted. Had no confidence. Believed that if a man paid me for sex, that he loved me. That's where my self worth came from. And had my children ripped away from me because I didn't know how to love them or take care of them. They got separated. Just never looked back. Just didn't care about anything.
Right.
Uh, lived in the realm of prostitution that time until I was 40. Just in and out of jail. Thank God, never went to prison, but somehow got a hairdresser's license through all that. Somehow uh, started, back then you didn't have to have a CNA license. You just got into a nursing home somewhere and started
Right.
taking care of elderly. And I knew that that was a gift that God gave me somehow. I didn't know who God was.
Right.
I just knew that there was a being up there somewhere that must have loved me to keep me alive, but I didn't know anything about a relationship with anybody. I didn't know
Right.
what a relationship with anything was. I just
Right.
knew that I was existing and that I hated everybody.
Right.
So that's really all I'd done all my life was exist.
So we're
And
talking like 25 plus years.
yeah, just wanted to get the best of everybody and get what I could get because hate was what drove me, and selfishness. So
I can relate to that.
I had to do drugs to live, and I had to live to do drugs.
Right. Now, like, um, let's talk about your kids real quick.
Okay.
Right. You have 3 kids. What are they doing today?
Well,
And I heard
okay.
you talk about this the other day, right? And,
Yeah.
and I saw that little sense of pride come out in you. So I think that's a good place to go, right? Because I failed as a father. Like I'll flat out admit it. But I am very proud of my kids today. Like my kids took my failures and decided like we're not going to live like that, and they stepped it up. So I'm very proud of my kids, and I think your kids are kind of doing the same thing.
Absolutely. I have 3 girls. The oldest, um, my mom took her for me, thank God. Um, and she's about to be 40. My mom passed away, and uh, she raised my daughter and did a very good job. And so she
Yep.
sorry about
No,
that.
you're good.
Better?
You're good.
Okay.
This ain't no formal, thing. Like,
Okay.
I just want people to hear you.
So yeah, she raised my daughter, did a very good job. My mom's been gone about 4 or 5 years. My daughter works for a physician here in town as a medical biller. She got married. She's doing very well for herself. Very sweet Christian young lady. Very proud of her.
That's what's up.
And then my middle daughter, I was able to give her up for adoption and give her a loving home. I was at a bad place in my life, and that seemed to be the best option for her.
Right.
She's doing very well for herself, has a beautiful family. She's in her mid-30s now. She lives downstate. She's doing very well. Very proud of her. Beautiful young lady.
Right on.
And then my baby, my little redheaded baby. She's the youngest. She's 36. She has raised 3 children by herself. She's got one left that's 9. The other 2 are almost raised. Never been married. She has managed to get her associates, her bachelor's, and 6 months she'll have her master's. Very
That's
proud of
awesome.
her.
That's
She's
awesome.
about to graduate the Evelyn Rivers program, and she will, in fact, be sponsored as the graduate this year, and she will speak at the Evelyn Rivers luncheon
That's awesome.
here in this October, and very happy for her.
You gonna show up?
Am I gonna show up?
You gonna show up? You gonna show out? Come on,
Man, I'm telling you what, that's gonna be like the highlight of my life.
That's awesome.
My children are the trophies of my life, of the things that I managed to do right. And by no credit to myself of anything that I could have done for them, the one thing that I did do was step out of the way and let God have them, because of that, because of letting God have them, they have blossomed. Aretha Franklin has a beautiful song that I was listening to on the way home from work the other morning, and it said, "A rose is still a rose, and baby girl, you're still a flower. But the key is you'll always be the power." And I tell my little girl that all the time. I tell her, sing that to your oldest daughter who's 18 and she's fixing to get her associates, because she went through a time where she was, battling depression and even tried to commit suicide one time. and we went through it with her, but we were able to, just gather up as females in a family, which I knew nothing about because I wasn't there for them,
Yeah.
but we united and we got through that together. And
I,
just hearing that.
I was about to ask you, so like, from my experience, like my 25 years of addiction completely separated me from my kids. Um, it seems like yours were kind of in and out, if I'm guessing. Like, how did they approach you when mom came to him and said, "Look, I'm getting sober"?
Being a chronic relapser, they'd heard that song and dance
It
all
was
their
like
lives.
skepticism.
They were like, okay, what's different this time? Because you promise and promise, and it lasts 6 months or 2 years or whatever. And then you go back out, and it's always a man that's going to help you get better. It's
Right.
always this or that. This time, it was because I showed them. I didn't promise anything. They came and saw me at Cinecor, and I
Okay.
didn't promise anything. It's like I got out and I went to Haven, and
So it's like, so this last time you were doing it for you.
yeah, and I didn't promise, hey, watch what I'm gonna do. It's like
Right.
they went and saw me through every step of what I did, and it just went from there. And now 3 years and some change later, I'll have my sobriety date is October the 25th of 2022, which is the day it's my mother's birthday. And incidentally, I was able through AA, of course, I was able to forgive her for everything, which is really important with my God, Jesus
Right.
Christ. It was really important for me to be able to forgive her so that I could go on.
Right.
And so, yeah, lots of progress with this thing for me. So, yeah.
What was it hard for them to forgive you?
It's a work in progress,
Mm-hmm.
hasn't really been forgiven.
It's kind of like an up and down thing.
Yeah.
Some days it's good. Some days
Yeah,
we're bringing
because,
stuff up.
well, like when my daughter gives her presentation in October, she's going to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly about our relationship because it's part of her autobiography, which she's
Right.
required to tell in this presentation. She's going to be up in front of everybody, and I'm going to be in the front row cheering her on because we were both there during every step of that.
Absolutely.
And I told her, from here to then to forever after, I'm going to be here with you on the good days, the bad days, and every day after. And until you are healed,
Yeah.
I'm going to answer for every bit of that.
And
And
that's
it's going to
awesome.
be okay.
I heard you tell me this the other day, right, when we were talking at the meeting, and it brought me back to, my dad's in recovery. He's been in recovery for, I think, 9 years now. And for his recovery, he goes to CR, but it was his night to get up and tell his story. So he calls me, and of course, I was already in recovery, and he says, "Hey, I want you to show up." And we're at a church, right? And,
Yeah.
and so I show up, and he introduces me to everybody in the group, right? It's a big group. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool, right?
Right.
And then, like, got up on stage and told his story. And, of course, I'm sitting, like, 2 rows back from the front row. I had a friend come with me because I was really nervous because me and my dad's relationship was kind of rocky.
Yeah.
Up until that point. But, I mean, he went to telling his story, and my face got red. I got hot. I was just like, oh, my God. Because you hear about yourself.
Bless your heart.
You hear about yourself.
Oh.
And at first, I got really angry.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was just getting annihilated in public. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, oh, my God. Like, no way. And thank God I brought a friend with me, and she just grabbed my hand. She was like, bro, if you want to leave, we'll leave. And I was like, nope, I'm going to stay. And so, I mean, I did end up leaving when he was done, but I did give him the respect to stay and listen to his story. And then it took me a couple days to marinate that. I'm not going to lie. Like, it took me a couple days to sit on that. And it's hard hearing someone else's truth.
And what did you get out of it after you marinated it? What do you think you went away with?
Well, today, me and my dad, we're tight knit. We talk almost every day. We have, we've both been able to kind of air our business out. He came and did the first episode of the show here.
Oh.
Like, he drove up from Dallas, and he was my first guest. Like,
awesome.
So, and we kind of got to reconcile some stuff on the show. But But
That's great.
you know,
Shawn.
we've been building on that ever since.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I would say anything to encourage you, right, is like it's gonna be tough. Hearing it's gonna be tough, and it's gonna take you to a place where it's like, oh man. But I'm very grateful that he did, because now I know a little bit more about my dad. I know a little bit more about me, right? And I was able to kind of work through some of the things that maybe I didn't think I was so flawed at, you know, because for growing up for the longest time, it was me against him. You know, it was constantly, we couldn't be in a room together. Now we show up to holidays, we spend time together. You know what I'm saying? Like we do things. And that kind of was that point of, you know what I'm saying, where everything kind of switched around. You know what I mean?
Looking through another pair of eyes.
Well, it's supporting people, knowing you're wrong, knowing you were
Yes.
in the wrong, right? And still showing up, being able to forgive, being able to still keep putting that next best foot forward. You know what I mean? And so it was changing. It did change the dynamic of our relationship completely. It was hard. It was definitely hard.
Thank
but yeah.
you for that encouragement. Thank you.
But I think it'd only be a good thing, you know, because there's so many things that we keep bottled up. You know what I mean, about each other in the world.
Yeah.
Right. There's vendettas and you know what I'm saying, motives and all kinds of stuff that we don't talk about. Right. So that's what I love about the show, is it gives you a space to talk about it. Like we can actually just talk about it, whether you're talking to somebody or if it's you know what I mean? Like it provides that open space to get it all out on the table. And that's what it really took. It took me and my dad putting it all out there. You know, like it's that realization that we were both wrong. And when we were able to come to the table and say, you know what, we were both wrong. How do we fix it? So it did a lot for me.
Good.
It did a whole lot for me. So let's go. You've been in AA for 3 years, 3 and some change.
Yeah. It'll be 4 years in October.
Okay. What is AA like? What does AA do? Because I feel like AA does different things for different people. So what did the program itself do for you?
Okay. Well, for me, because like I said, I've been a chronic relapser, and basically, to me, the definition of chronic relapser in my life was because I always did it for somebody else or something else.
Every time.
For some other reason. So, I never worked the steps. I never got a sponsor. I never. Okay.
Right.
So when I got sober this time, I did it because I felt like I didn't have another high in me. I felt like I wasn't going to make it back. I felt like everybody was going to leave me to die. My kids, God. I mean, I just felt like this was it. I mean, to be honest with you, to just be blatantly honest, I was too old to hoe. I was going to catch AIDS. I mean, I just
I get it. No.
you know.
No.
So what was there left? So I had to do it. And for me, AA was the commitment, part of the commitment. Like I was ready to make the commitment to God. In my mind, AA went with the commitment to God because it is spiritually based. Now, you can have a God of your own understanding. You don't have to say, oh, Jesus Christ, you know.
Yeah.
But you have to agree that there is a higher power that's greater than you, that you believe that can deliver you to a better way of life.
Right.
And so to me, I came to understand that that would be Jesus Christ for me. And when I did that, I came to start studying the 12 steps of AA, and I started studying the book and believing that that program would work for me. And boy, let me tell you what, it changed my life. And when I started working those steps, and just the 3 steps of it were so powerful, and getting a sponsor that would guide me through the steps, because the whole idea of getting a sponsor is just they have one job.
Get you through the steps.
Yeah.
Get you through 'em.
You've got one job,
Yeah.
one job. And that one job is to get you through the steps. They're not your mama, your daddy, your banker.
I feel you.
You know, they're your babysitter. They're to help you get through the steps. And so I value my sponsor very, very much. She doesn't have to be perfect. She screws up, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I thank God for AA because those people in that room, they're all the biggest screw ups you've ever met in your life. I mean, what a club of misfits. But they all meet me where I'm at, and they all understand when I've had a bad day because they've gone through the same stuff.
Right.
So yeah, love it. And I see you there
all the time. And so when I guess when I started in AA back in 2021, I would go to meetings and just it seems like there was question marks to everything, right? Like everything ended with a question mark for me, and so I had to figure out a lot of things. So I've tried a lot of different programs. I've done NA, AA, I've done like U-Turn, I've done Rewired, I've done some different programs, right? And I'm really thankful that I did. So today I support a multi-pathway approach. I still go to AA almost every day, because that's always a place where I can self-reflect, right? No matter what we're talking about, lately they've been pretty heavy conversations, but it's always a open, free space for me to look at me and through other people's point of view, through my own point of view. So for that, I'm very grateful, and then of course I went to college, right? Because I felt like the programs weren't working for me.
right?
So I went to college to figure myself out. I started with a psychology degree, and I'm about to change my major to something else because I feel like I've pretty much figured me out for the most part. And then what I haven't figured out, my wife does a pretty good checks and balances on me, So, she's always that support system, that never ending support system that I love.
That's great.
But yeah, I had to do a lot to figure me out. I mean, I read a lot of literature, did a lot of different things, and if somebody would have came in there, the part that got me the most was like, you got to do this one simple thing. You just got to do one simple thing, and that's the 12 steps. Well, and in doing the 12 steps, you change everything about you.
Yes.
So the one simple thing I have to change is everything.
Yeah.
All of it. Like, just don't. Yeah, and I see that's what people wrestle with the most, is because they want to just fix like one or two areas of their life and thinking that will solve the problem. No, man, you got to just clean slate it. Like,
That's right.
I am broken. I need to be rebuilt. And that's what that AA program does. It rebuilds you.
Yes.
Or at least helps rebuild you. So I show up a lot of times in support of other people. Because today I'm a pretty happy person. I've 180'd my life completely. I used to be very angry and pissed off and constantly on drugs and constantly just breaking everything around me.
Shawn, I remember back when, I don't know how much time you had when I first met you, but when I first came and you used to sit
I think
behind,
I was pretty new.
yeah,
I was new.
you used to sit behind the coffee bar and wherever, you were back out of the way for sure. You weren't
Oh, yeah.
talking.
No, I was mad.
Yeah.
My first 6 months in the program, I was pissed.
Yeah.
I did not want to be there. It was not something. Well, let me rewind that, right? Because when I came into recovery, I literally thought I was dying. Like, I had put a clock on myself. Like, when I got admitted to another chance house.
An emotional clock or physical clock?
Like,
all of it?
Physically, my body was breaking down. I was a long-term, 10, 15-year heroin addict.
Right.
And that heroin addict side of me got bad for a good 10 years. So when I detoxed, my detox was a year long. It sucked. It was horrible. I had developed cirrhosis of the liver and Crohn's disease, and my body was no longer producing healthy blood. So I was constantly in pain. I was about 140 pounds, soaking wet. I had shriveled up to the size of a flat screen TV.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was bad. It was really bad. And I couldn't walk on my own. I couldn't bathe myself. My mom would have to come over and watch me, and she'd have to cook my meals. And so like a shower would take me almost 2 hours. I'd have to get one of those bench seats and sit in the shower, and I could only wash myself in pieces. I'd come out shriveled. I'd been in the shower for so long. I was so weak. So I literally thought that I was going to die. And at that point, I was at one of my sister's houses, and I was bedridden, and I was staring up at the ceiling fan, and I was done. Like, pain was too much, and I just told God, man, I said, look, take my life or give me something better, because I can't do this. Like, this is not gonna work. I was thinking about overdosing myself. I was thinking heavily about suicide. Like, if God's not gonna kill me, I'm gonna kill myself, because it was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. And a couple weeks after that, I got accepted to another chance house. And so I went in there and I literally looked around, and it's an old brothel. It's an old brothel that they retrofitted into a treatment / shelter facility. And I walked in there and I was like, yep, this is where I'm going to die. This is it. And I was there for like about a month, and my body gave out. Complete liver failure. Boom, hit the floor. Felt like a bomb went off inside me. And I got rushed to the hospital, and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And from the day I got out of that hospital, life consistently got better. I could walk on my own. I could go outside. And I remember coming out of the back of the treatment facility and hearing the birds. It had been so long since I was able to actually sit outside. Like, hearing the birds made me happy. I sat out there for hours and just stared into the trees. Felt the wind, because I'd been bedridden for so long, you know? So it was just those little things I got real grateful for real fast. And, you know, they provided me a good space for me to really work through my problems. Before I even started stepping out into the world, doing things, like, they were like, bro, just deal with the cycle inside your head for a little while, and then we'll start focusing on life later. So that's kind of how my recovery journey started. So I was very, I feel blessed, you know, and since then I have to constantly ask myself, like, why did God save me at 40 years old when I was done? Absolutely done. Did he save me just to get sober? Or did he save me to get me sober and do something impactful with my sobriety?
Amen.
Right? And that's when I linked up with these guys. You know, I got introduced to these guys, and I came in here, and you know, Mike, our production manager, he was like, look, I'm gonna tell you like this: you give it 100%, or you don't give it nothing.
Right.
You walk out the door, don't come back, or you commit 100% to it. So this was like my AA commitment, right? And
Yes.
like, so, but it's been a blessing to me, right? Because it's put me in a lot of rooms, and it's put me on some stages, and it's put me in front of a whole bunch of people to tell my story, be as impactful as I possibly can. And you know, we're coming up on 200,000 views on YouTube, so
Hey.
that's pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked about that. You know,
Absolutely.
you know, but it's been progress ever since, right? And it's noticing that, like, God did the work. Like, God did what I asked him to do. I told him to give me something. I asked him to give me something better, and he did. Now it's my part to follow through with that commitment. You know, and
Absolutely.
I think that's where a lot of us fall short. Is we have problems committing to things that we don't necessarily know the ending to it. If I know the ending to something, it's easy for me to commit if I know what the end result is. It's
Right.
really hard to commit to something not knowing what's going to happen next.
Isn't it? Yes. Yes.
But that's how stepping into sobriety is.
Yes.
Stepping is it's that feeling, right? It's, I'm going to get sober, but what then? What happens
What's
now?
next?
What's
Yeah.
now? What happens now? Because now I'm in a world I don't know nothing about.
Yes.
I spent 25 years on, homeless, gangs, street, doing all kinds of just the wrong things, in and out, jail. You know, I spent half my adult life locked up. You know, so it's been interesting, to say the least, because I'm trying everything for the first time, legitimately trying everything for the first time. You know, and I've been able to rebuild most of that, and I think you've been able to rebuild most of your stuff too.
I'm well on my way.
Well on your way,
And I
right?
want to ask you, what about the simplicity of peace that we feel? Just those moments of simple peace that we've never experienced.
So it's kind of funny you say that, because I get a lot of my old friends from the hood that hit me up, right?
Right.
And it's still the hood mentality, right? Hey, bro, you got $20? I see
Yeah.
you doing good over there.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, I see you on YouTube. I see you on this. You doing good now. You got 20. Come on, man. Throw me $20. And I'm like, bro, y'all think I do this for the money?
Right.
Y'all think that's what it's
Right.
about? Because let
Right.
me tell you something. I had way more money
Back then.
back then than what I have today.
Right.
It's that peace of mind. That peace of mind is worth more than gold. You know what I mean? To not have to look over to my back, to not have to lie. It's a huge one, right? To not have to get in front of my family and tell some bold-faced lie about where I've been or what I've been doing the last 6 months, or you know what I mean? Like
To be able for them to go to their house and them not hide their purse for me.
bro, you know what I mean? Like, my dad used to do that. I go to my dad's house, everything be locked, and there just be like locks on everything, But yeah, no, it's really that peace of mind is worth more than anything today.
Yeah.
To not have to stress about that, I don't have to stress about. It's a beautiful feeling, but also to know that like. And I always try to emphasize this with people coming into sobriety. Like, sobriety is just the first step. That's it. I mean, when you really look at like life, right? And when you're trying to change that, getting sober is a huge, massive step in life, but it's simply the first step.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the first step. Now that I'm sober, now I got to do all these other things.
Yeah.
And so I always ask people, I'm like, why'd you get sober? And they're like, well, the state told me to. Or da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, how do you plan to stay sober through your life? You know what I'm saying? And they have no plan after sobriety. Like, sobriety was it. And I'm like, and then sure enough, 3-4 months later, you end up seeing them on a mugshot or, where life bucked back against them. So I always try to get people thinking, what's the next step? What's the next thing, right? Because we tend to spend too much time in our past.
Oh, yeah.
Too much time. My wife loves to do that. She loves to explore her feelings of the past, and I'm like, that's not me, baby girl. Like, I love you, but we ain't going there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's nothing I can do about the past. I can't change it, can't fix it, can't mend it. You know what I mean? Like, what's done is done. All I can think about is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow. And if I keep my focus on my future, I see consistent growth. When I'm focused on last week, last month, last year, man, I don't do nothing. It's just something about that feeling that gets inside you where you just feel down.
Yeah, and it's like they were, in class and in rehab, they were teaching us, okay, so we've identified the problem.
Yeah.
So now we need to focus on the solution. And that's exactly right. Identify the problem, but don't stay in the problem.
Let it go.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
And when you're able to do that, you free yourself from the burden of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
I like the phrase "let go and let God." I've actually kind of broke that phrase down in a few different ways, but it's really just coming to terms with who you were and what you are today.
Absolutely. And that's so much more fun with identifying who you are today.
Yeah.
Because I'd much rather look at her. I really would.
Well, and I'm big on affirmations, like how I talk about myself. So, there's a couple people in the AA rooms that always want to say something because I don't talk about my sober time. And part of it's because of my profession. Like, I'm going to keep it real. That a big part of it is about my profession and how I'm viewed in a professional sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because people who don't know don't understand. Right? And so they think you got to have 10, 15, 20 years of sobriety time. You know how many therapists and counselors and people on different nonprofit boards that are users? Like, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. You know what I mean? But I had a mentor tell me one day, he said, if you don't like people talking about you, don't give them ammo. And so whereas I don't open that door for people to use things against me. Now I have a good stretch of sober time. I've got 2 years, a little over 2 years, straight sober, right? But it's not something I put out into the world, and then maybe that's a trust issue with me because like people don't generally know what to do with information. And a lot of people just want to do it so they can judge you on some things. And so I protect myself by not putting it out there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because even people would want to talk. I've heard people say stuff about my podcast. Well, he ain't been sober that long. He shouldn't be doing a podcast about sobriety. Why not? Well, it always takes people to a place of judgment, and so I just kind of stay away from that. And Sammy, she kind of caught it pretty bad when we did our relapse. People judged her real heavy, and that's why you don't see her in the rooms. So she don't go. She got kind of knifed in the back really hard, and so she feels kind of betrayed by the program because of the people that she had met, and they bashed her pretty good over it, and so she doesn't go. But we still maintain good sobriety, and we're still growing. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Well, I feel like, and again, this is coming from a chronic relapser,
Right.
Which, I mean, I've been through it all, having to come back with your head hung low in the
Oh
rooms
yeah,
again for
I've
people
done
that
it.
got 47 years and then,
I've done it.
they can tell you how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just had to come back in there and say, hey,
Yeah.
I skinned my knee again, just like everybody said I would. You know what I mean?
And it's okay.
And it is okay, because at the end of the day, when everybody else is knocking up another sober day and I couldn't do it, you know what I mean? It's okay, because I dusted off my knee and I made it back in here, and I was able to stand up and say, hey, I'm back here again, and I'm going to try again. And this time I've got 3.5 years this time. And guess who I did it for? I did it for me. And I've seen people get 30 and 35 years. I've seen people, GSRs and everything else.
Yep.
And they can't make it. They've made it 35 years, 37 years and fall. And you know what it is? Because people are people and humans are humans.
Well,
and nobody graduates that program, and everyone's susceptible.
Well, I tell people all the time, man, I hate the fact that I created options for myself.
Created options.
Right. So, like, I hate the fact that I ever used. Right. I hate the first day I used heroin 10 times more than I hate the last day I used it.
Yes.
Right. Because it turned into a go-to. It's just like hustling in the streets and doing what we do in the streets. Right. Once you learn that side of you,
yeah,
you can always go back. And I don't care who you are. Like, I've heard people going in there 20 years and say, "Man, I don't get the urge. I don't get." And I'm like,
BS.
bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're full of it, bro.
There's always that monkey
There's
tapping.
always that go-to. There's always going to be that go-to for the addict mind, right? But I've noticed that even normal people have their same go-tos. They still have the things they revert back to. Whatever it is. So
food. I mean, that's me.
Yeah, everything. You know what I mean? So, but I hate the fact that I made that I made a go-to like that, because it'll forever be there.
Yes.
Right. So it's anytime I get stressed out, or anytime I'm in some sort of confrontation, or things ain't going my way, there's always that little devil in the back of my head saying, well, "Just go get a hit, bro. You be all right. You be all right. See you in a couple days."
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the fact that I created those go-tos, not just with drugs, but that lifestyle.
Yes.
Because that's the hardest part for me to deal with today, right? And it's not hard. It's more annoying than anything else. That's always my first thought. I'm like, when something pops up, even sometimes here at the studio, I'm like, let me stew on it for about 30, 45 minutes. Let me go outside, hit the weights, get this little devil out the back of my head real quick, and I'll come back.
Yes.
I
can relate.
Like, so I don't make any like real quick decisions. I'm like, hang on, shut up.
Yes. Yes. And we have the ability to play a situation all the way out today, which we never did that before.
Yep. But it's real easy to not to too.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I've been off drugs for a while, and but I still have my moments where that, like I said, that lifestyle pops up, and I'm like, it'd be real easy right now, real easy.
Yes.
So, but big thankfulness to the AA program that helped me work through a lot of that stuff and a lot of the other programs that I worked with. And, there's people in our group that inspired me. I want to talk about this real quick. So, as we work this program, right, and we start being successful at it, right, and this is just kind of my perspective. I started noticing how people started kind of following, not necessarily following me, but like would always like to hear what I had to say, and kind of started leaning on me a little heavier. It started in treatment, and then when I became a teacher, it kind of got more impactful, right? But it's when people from our hood, from where we come from, see what we're doing today, right? It creates that spark of inspiration for somebody else. And I really think that's why sponsor, right? Is because they achieved it. They seen that there's a spark in somebody else, and so they want to help them.
Right.
So that's kind of where I came up with the Better Days Reign name, right? Is because I wanted something to inspire hope in people, right? Because I think all of us who have stepped out of addiction and stepped into our new life, you have become an inspirational tool, right? For sobriety, for God, for multiple different things, right? But people see that, right? And you're a sponsor as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Right?
I am.
So how's your relationship with your sponsees?
Oh man, that is something I had no idea would be.
Because like we said, sponsors just there to go through the steps, right? But like,
well,
it turns into so much more than that.
It does.
It really does.
In fact, you get so much more from them than you ever give, I mean, and you don't realize that until you start working with one of them, and then you meet with them, and like whatever I accept one, say like from the Haven or something, and I start committing to meeting once a week, and I hear their story, and then we start working through the steps and doing book studies and stuff. You may realize that your story wasn't shit. Compared to what they've gone through and what they're battling, and then they've got mental illness on top of it, and then just whatever, or one of their children died, or just anything that they're battling, and then they've just buried it and shoved it down, and they don't even know how to scrape the surface off so they can work it. I mean, it's just... Right. And you come out of that little room after working with them for an hour, and you can't even believe that they're still alive, that they're still even able to even walk with their head up, because, I mean, I don't see how they do it, And then you look at that same person after working with them for a whole year, and they've got a job, and they've graduated into a new realm of things, and they're still sober, and they've gotten their kids back, and I mean, there's just... Yeah. And all you can say is look up at the sky and say, won't he do it? Yeah. Because that's God. Yeah. That's what God can do. And I mean, the whole gift of and the position of being a sponsor to somebody that gave the program a chance is amazing. And at one time, God blessed me to have, I think it was 6 sponsees at once. And I wasn't working at that time because there was a point in time that I too was in a wheelchair before I got sober. And the meth had just eaten away my joints to the point where I couldn't walk. And I weighed 400 pounds, and it was horrible. And I went to the Haven too. I mean, I didn't know we had that in common, that we were both at that point, in our lives physically. Yeah. I
was dead. Yeah, I was beyond dead.
I just wanted to die. I mean, I couldn't. And so through all that, the Haven helped me find myself in what I was doing. And I mean, I'll tell you what, those ladies changed my life through getting out of myself and worrying about something else besides poor me and how bad I had it and everything just for me. I saw a miraculous change in myself and those ladies. And, I saw them go to a program they had called Job Corps.
Yeah, yeah.
I
was too old to go to Job Corps, but yeah.
You saw people
Yeah.
attend it that change. I mean, they taught basic skills on how to get a job and different things. I
Trade
mean,
schools.
gave those ladies a reason to get up, put their makeup on, dress for a job, you know. I mean, all kinds of things for them. And I mean, they transformed.
Yeah.
And I got to be a part of seeing that, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, being a sponsor and standing beside those ladies and helping them fight for their sobriety and to be a better person and be a part of something bigger than just drugs and alcohol and turning your back on everything that was good and right for your life, you know, it was an amazing experience. And I wouldn't change a thing, you know. And every time I see a new person come into AA and they're new to the program and stuff, you know, like they say, you know, the newcomer is the most important person at this meeting because, you know, we're here for you. We're here for you because whether you have one day or a million years, you know,
Yeah.
you know, this is what it's all about. It's one day at a time.
All right. So, quick question for you.
Yeah.
What can we expect from Diane Sheppard in the future?
That is one hell of a question, Shawn.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know
It
because
is.
I do what they tell me in AA and they tell me just worry about today. They tell me just worry about today. Well, you can expect open-mindedness. You can expect a good attitude. You can expect gratefulness. And you can expect me to do great things. You can expect me to be happy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I want to do for others instead of trying to be selfish. You know, just positivity, man. Just good vibes. Just being right. Being able to live in my own skin. I don't know about world peace and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I stay away from politics though.
I just want to be a good mom.
Yeah.
I want to be a good granny. I want to be a positive role model. I want to be a good woman. That's really where it's at for me right now.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
I can accept that answer. I'm kind of in the same boat, you know, just stepping into that new you and just rocking with it, see where it goes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're about hit up for the time for today.
All right.
But I had a great time talking to you. You know, I'm glad you came on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Again, Diane Sheppard, y'all. If anybody would like to support the Better Days Reign movement, man, you can visit our Printify store. It's going to be at the link at the bottom of this video. It's a store you can get t-shirts, coffee cups, bumper stickers, you know, all the basic knickknacks and stuff. We got hoodies, hats. That helps us to be able to expand our reach as well as do the show here at Warrior Garden Studios. I want to do a big shout out to Warrior Garden Studios for allowing us to come in here, use their space, use their equipment to make this show. You can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We are on Spotify. We are on just about every major platform you can think of, and it is consistently growing. So I'm super thankful for everybody who follows and subscribes to our channel. You know, this is why we do it. We do it because I'm personally not okay with 1 out of 10. Like when I walked into recovery, you know, they said 1 out of 10 make it, and I'm like, that sucks. Like I mean, it's good, but it sucks. That's like that's a horrible average, right?
Absolutely.
It's 10% of people make it out of this thing, and I wanted to find a way to maximize reach, right? Instead of reaching 10 people a day or 20 people a day, I want to reach as many people as freaking possible.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And this podcast has really allowed us to expand that. We are an international show now. We have viewers in Australia and London and all over the world. So this is going out everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and
amazing.
It's we're really excited for this next year. I'm really excited for event season. You're going to see Better Days Reign at a lot of events this year. We kind of started that up last year. We're going to push on that real hard this year. So expect a lot of growth from the Better Days Reign addiction recovery movement, man. Thank y'all for watching and tune in for the next episode, man. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.